So my name is Joel Sikam, and my company, the longer version of my company is First Transact International Service Company. Shorter version is just Fisco.
Hey, it's Kellen. And today on Diversified Game, if you find another gentleman in Cameroon, this young, this vibrant, and who has done what he has done, Chief Joel Sikam is into manufacturing in Cameroon. And why this is important is because many people say, Kellen, I want to go to Africa, but I heard the Chinese run and make everything. You're meeting somebody who has not just created something, but created jobs and manufacturing. I wish more of us would get into it. So Joel, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hey, thank you, Kalen. How you doing? I'm really. I just want to thank you for the opportunity you are giving me to, to communicate and to give my experience to the people out there for us to, to do more to empower Africa. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kellen.
Well, I thank you and appreciate you because through your wins, I feel like we all win. And I really want you to tell people, how did you get into manufacturing when I hear everybody saying it's too hard, we don't know anybody, how are we supposed to build a factory to build things? You have done it. And this message needs to be heard from Cameroon to the United States because we do not do the 20 plus products that you do in masses. We do dance, we do music, but you're doing manufacturing. So give us the game on how you started on this journey.
I mean, first and foremost, I just came back to the continent back in 2012. After I went to school in Texas, I was based in Dallas, and when I came back, I just observe. And when you wanted to launch a manufacturing process, you have to come up with an answer of what people need. You cannot come with the idea and think that's what people need. You have to study what people need and bring a solution. So when I came back, I just observed that 80%, 85% of the diseases in Africa is the diseases based on how clean we are or how healthy we are. Which it can be malaria. Malaria is just mosquito going in the sewage, drink those water and come back to bite us and give us malaria. Typhoid, cholera. A lot of African diseases is based on hygiene. And then I was like, if you want to evolve, if you want to develop our countries and our continents, we need to have unhealthy people. We need to have strong workforce. We need to have a powerful labor force. So that was the first step. And then the second step, I noticed most of our cleaning product, detergent, soap, home care, personal care was imported product. I was like, if in this century we still need to import our product to be clean, to be healthy, then we have a problem. And I started small. When I mean the keyword today is to start small. You cannot go in China. Chinese people are 1 billion citizens. You go to the US is 300 million people, and you want to build a manufacturer with machine, with the high technology. You really have to start small. For instance, Cameroon is 25 million people. So you cannot build a big factory with the high tech, with the, technology that's going to be producing for only 20 million people. So you have to start really small.
Now, with starting small, you've gone to many products, and watching, I know, Shark Tank, and maybe you've even seen Lion's Den, Dragon's Den. You have 20 plus products. So how do you go from small to much larger what was the first step in even being able to do production? Were you doing it from the home to start? Did you go that small, or how was that first step?
No, I started it in 2015. The first product launched in the market, that was in May 2015. We rent a small warehouse. When I say small, it's like 300 square meters. We had no machinery, not heavy technology machinery, because here you don't have the people here don't have the training to handle those machines. And then, because, like, for instance, detergent is a really basic chemistry. You don't need expert, if I can put it that way. So I hired a consultant. It was in Poland, and he trained the guy here, and he was the guy who helped us to stabilize our formulas. And back then we started with 7 products only, and then each year on the market demands, we were able to go. In 2016, we went from 7 products to about 10, 11 products. And all of them are detergent. So the raw material is pretty much the same, but the small differences make those products different. And then during the COVID, we went from 15 products to 24 products, because the demand on disinfectants was really high, and we were able to produce it because everything was shut down. The port was shut down. China was not exporting. Everybody needed cleaning and disinfectant product. Hospitals and houses was looking for so much in quantities disinfectant, and we were able, because we were a local producer, we were able, to respond to that demand.
So your business went from Small P King to a full-blown, I need you, Chief. I not have to have your product. The shelves are empty, to quote Donald Trump. How is that feeling to know that? I know when you started, I know this in the spirit, people thought you were crazy. They said, what are you going to do? In Cameroon, of all places? You did not? Tell me that feeling of saying, I was right and I was early. Like, that must have just had you, like, melt and just feel like, yes, like a championship.
It's strange because, as an entrepreneur, you have to look at those big lions, those even Zuckerberg, even Bill Gates, even Tesla, even Elon Musk. Every time, all those guys, what we have in common, from the biggest to the smallest, as I am, people always think that we are crazy of having an idea. And for instance, even my own family was not believing in what I was doing back then, because they didn't have the vision, they didn't see. But I'm lucky, I'm fortunate, because I was right. And hopefully in the years coming, I'm going to be able to do more and to do better. And because, not for my sake, but because we have to do better for Cameroon, and we have to do better for Africa as a whole, because otherwise we're not going to be competitive.
Man, I'm glad you said it. And so many entrepreneurs come on and they talk about how even family, friends, if you guys, your wife, they're not going to understand the vision until you show them some work. What did it take to have you have that confidence? Because what I want to clarify, somebody will look at you and say, oh, okay, because he went to the States, he was able to do this. And because they'll say, oh, you fell bush and you went to the States and you came back with a bag of money, to the point where there's even a hotel in Boya right now being built, and everybody's saying it's because they stole money in America, right? One, that's none of your business. Two, that's not true for everybody. So was it just how much of an impact was even you coming to America that impacted this business now? Could you have done it without ever coming to America? Would your mindset have even been there?
Yeah. The idea, when I was coming back in Cameroon, I didn't have that idea at all. When I came back with the idea to having a payment processing business, and it didn't work out. And then, by looking what Cameroonian needs, I went to the markets. When I mean market, it's not clean market. It's just you went deep inside, like in the gutter. seeing every day what people needs, what are the problems that they have. And I went from the problem or the consequences, and I went on the other way to say, okay, if there is a problem, what's the cause? And like I was saying, in order to be sick, you need to have some habits. And that habit, it was because of our hygiene. A lot of people in Africa are still living under the poverty. So they don't have means, or they are not financially capable, to have a certain life standard. So the idea, I found it here locally. I can tell you, when I was in the US, I never thought I was going to do something like that. So first and foremost, it is not, the idea didn't come from America, and the idea didn't come from because I went out overseas. The second idea, it was the challenge. I'm not, maybe some people are going to take it as racist. I was like, yeah, but how come in these centuries, with the social media and everything, we still import the basic stuff on how to be clean? I don't, even you, if you say, okay, do I need to call someone outside to tell me how to be clean in my house? Hell no, it doesn't make any sense. So I was like, for the first year in 2013, I started making research. I was like, how complicated is it to make these things? And when I found it was easy, I was like, okay, let me try it. I tried with four people. I hired one chemist from a local school, and he had difficulties to stabilize the formula. So I hired a consultant. We started online, and then I hired a guy. He came here for 4 months, and then we were able to find out the formula was not stable because of the quality of the water. I lost money because the quality of the water. So it's not even about the raw material; it's about our water that comes from our soil. So it was kind of tricky, but after a lot of loss, we were able to find the right thing, and it was not easy, and it's really a lot of sleepless night, a lot of question mark, and even sometimes as an entrepreneur you doubt about yourself. Like, man, you know what? I already put too much. I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna give up. I'm going back, and then at the last minute, the guy, oh snap, let's try the quality of the water, and we were like, because in the city where I am in Douala, the water have a high quantity of iron in the water, which is a natural water. So we were able to find something to treat it, and then the formula starts stabilizing. So that's how it happened, but it was not easy.
Now, for some people, think about your friends in America, in Texas, they say, then why don't you just use a filter and, filter out the water? Because, of course, America has all the answers, right?
Yeah.
It's more difficult than that, but that you solve the problem is where you get, your title and the round of applause. Can you let someone know? They say, I want to do something like that, whether I'm in Douala, whether I'm in Kribi, whether I'm in Yaoundé. In what range should they start with their business? Because you said you lost a lot of money, and you could have even lost more. People lose money all the time in business. But if they say, I don't think I have enough, can you give them a range of what is enough to start, so they won't just feel like it's never enough? Because in business, it's never enough. You always need money.
I have today I have a lot of followers. I have a lot of entrepreneurs. Not here. Sometimes I make a difference between social media entrepreneurs, people that you see on Facebook. They have thousands of likes, but when you say, okay, let me visit what you are doing, you don't see them anymore. So to start, if you want to be a producer, a really good one, let's say you can do something with 15, 20 millions, which is about 15 to 20 million CFAs, which is going to be in the range of $40,000 to $60,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people, even in America, because people are living check to check. They say, how do you even get 40,000 without a PPP loan? So can you let people know if you took any venture capital, angels, friends, or family, or did you just save because the money would not spoil?
No. The money I started with, I have a lot of let's say the 1/4 was supplier loans. My raw material suppliers, my chemical suppliers, because you have to take that into consideration. That, you know, people that lend you things you cannot, because you fail, say, okay, I've tried, but it didn't work out. Even if it didn't work out, you still have to pay. But when you're doing the BP, the business plan, you have to take that into consideration. That all the credit, even if it's bank credit, even if it's a supplier credit, it's still a business, a money you start with. And in my range, I had a lot of those supplier credit, local suppliers, because, for instance, the guy who manufactured my boxes to put the product inside, the guy who supplied me the duct tape, you know, to be able to close the boxes, the guy who supplied me the bottles, the plastic bottles, because at the beginning, all those things, especially the plastic bottles, I was buying them. Right now, I'm manufacturing them. I'm manufacturing them by myself. But at the beginning, I was buying those plastic bottles. So all those things, the half of the capital that you have to start is going to be the raw materials. Whatever you want to do at the beginning, the money you're going to start, it's not always, because even if you take the loan at the bank, it's still going to be to buy those raw materials. You see? Mm-hmm. And then the supplier can give you 30, 60 days credit free. But the banks, as soon as you take it, you have interest on it. It's like in the US, when you want to, you know, redo your houses, remodel your apartment or refurbish your apartment. It's better to go to Lowe's or to Home Depot instead of going to Citibank or Capital One to have a loan, because, you know, the money for the supplier also going to be cheaper, but it's still a loan. So that's 50% to 50% or 60% of my loan was on those guys, on my suppliers. And as of today, I still thank them because they trusted me, because they didn't know me at the beginning. They could have said no, but they trust me. They say, okay, we're going to give you this line of credit. And that's how I start. The other half is going to be on logistics, because when you manufacture, you need to bring it to the supermarkets. You need to, you know, pay for gas, pay for transportations. So that's where you most of the time I advise people to have on their own money 30 to 40% of what you need to start something.
Wow, I love this, because, you know, in America, everything is credit, but people find it hard for suppliers to give them anything on credit. And what that shows is in Africa, in Cameroon, that, you know, people aren't just going to run off. People trust, you know, they trusted you, where, you know, you hear many people right here in America say, don't trust anybody in Cameroon. Don't trust anyone. Nobody will, you know, nobody is going to help you. And, you know, that's their experience, maybe, or an experience they heard. Is there anything that you had to provide the suppliers as collateral for them to trust you like that?
Not really. What I can say, even when you go to the bank to have a loan, you have to convince them that you want to do something good, right? You're going to show them that you're going to use that money to do something. Everybody sells, even banks, even yourself. When you go to a job interview, you go to a job interview to sell yourself to the company. So basically, when you go talk to those guys, you have to show them that, you know, you are a trustworthy person. Banks doesn't invest on a business plan, on a project. They invest in the people that are in front of you. You have to put them in trust. If you show them, okay, this is what I want to do, this is where I'm going to be, the location. You see, most of the time, what I do, even today, when I find some business partners, I always want them to come see where I am. Don't go into the office, because they're going to stay in the office. Okay, what they're going to think in their head is like, okay, these guys just popped out. He's in my office. I don't know who he is. I don't know where he's located. I don't know whatever he's doing. Always make sure you say to the guy, if you want to, I can come pick you up. Let's go to my place. Let's see what I'm doing. Let's see what I want, or what I'm trying to accomplish. And once they're going to see it, it's going to be a trust process. They're not going to say yes as meaning you're going to see. They're going to see you. It's going to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 or 3 meetings. And then they're going to say, okay, I know this guy. We're already on WhatsApp. We're already talking to each other. I've met the place where you want to do the project. And you're going to say, okay, if he has if that supplier has let's say $2 million stock worth of products, you're going to say, okay, you know what? Let's give him 5,000. If it works, it's okay. If it doesn't, my loss. I'm just going to put it into loss and casualties. That's how, even me today, some small shops sometimes call me and say, okay, I'm launching a shop. I need a credit. That's how I do. I say, okay, I'm going to give you a worth of, let's say, $1,000 of product you can use, and you pay me after. That's how the world is built, because everybody has something to sell.
Yes, yes. Everybody has something to sell. And I found you from your great interview, and I won't repeat any of the questions there, but I'll have the people go check you out on howwemadeitinafrica.com. And you guys just, you know, you can Google that. It will pop right up. It's a great read. And this story, you know, is something that needs to be framed. It also needs to be taught, you know, what you're doing. Because many people feel like they can't do it. Do you have any plans on creating a book or maybe even an online course to show how supply chain works?
I'm more into, you know, talking to young entrepreneurs. And as of today, we have our, they can find me online, and you also have the, in Cameroon, we have what we call GCAM. And the GCAM is for the business owner, is the Association of Business Owner, but it's the biggest one, it's one of the biggest one in Cameroon. And in that big association, I'm in charge of, you know, small businesses. So they can, even if they type on Google, they can see who I am, and they can, you know, send me a question, and I'm going to be able to, you know, guide them through, give my piece of advice. I'm not the successful guy, but I can tell them from where I start to where I am. This is what I did, and this is the mistakes, because I've done mistakes. I've done mistakes, but I was lucky also to be able to strive. I trust some people. I thought they were big distributors, where in fact they were not. I lost a lot of money because in some raw material, my team and we were not expert, so we bought the wrong ones, and it was cost us a lot of money. We had inside issues. Some in the factory product was disappearing, and nobody knew where it went, because, you know, it's Cameroon. We had trust issues with some of my co-worker. So those things, most of the time, I give them the bad, but I always say the future is bright. You know, and if you try, at least you know if it's good or not. But if you don't try, how do you know? So basically, I'm trying to, and that's why those in that association they chose me, because I'm pragmatic. You know, I always trying to tell the truth from my experience, not something that I read in a book. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a preacher. I'm more into entrepreneur, but now to talk about, you know, supply and demand, to those type of things. I don't know if I'm going to write a book, but probably I'm going to write a book on, you know, how to be a good entrepreneur. Most definitely, yes.
Okay. And you being on the side of Cameroon, that makes more sense to me. You guys, I'm just telling you, you know, Yaoundé is more ran like France, I would say, with, you know, with all the confusion that happens in France too, especially traffic wise. But Douala has its own traffic as well. You guys have heavy traffic. I'm more of a Limbe guy, but you're closer. I'm closer on that side. With all the success that you've had, and the success you're going to have, because you're still young, and the best is yet to come. what is a community give back that you're doing now or that you would like to do in the future?
I mean, I do a lot of give back. Like this is the end of the year. We have a lot of orphanage that we send product to. Uh, we have a scholarship with field school in Douala area in the West Cameroon area. We do a lot. I mean, at my level, of course, because I'm not saying to be the we every time that someone call me for partnership and for something, I always try to see without finding way in my interest. I always say, okay, we supply some gel, uh, on cleaning product. I mean, Cameroon, and you know that sometimes gel really have a high hygiene issues. So yes, that's how we also, yeah, we always do try in the summertime take young Cameroonians for professional experience, and we try to encourage them and empower them to to be a dreamer. Everything starts with a dream, because if your mind doesn't dream, you're not even going to say, okay, I'm going to try. So that's what I do. That's what I do at my level right now. But the company growing, I think I'm engaged in some think do tank call the Aquilians. And I really, if you guys have to check something beside my company, you have to check out that think do tank the Aquilians. It's Cameroonian dialect. It's mean learners, you see.
Mm.
And we really empower young people, fellows that we call them the fellows, to engage into really into Cameroon society, to have the impact. And I'm really into that think to tank, and I really support them also, and the company also, by providing economical transformation of our country.
And I'm so happy that you are doing what you're doing and that you brought something back. And you're talking about an issue that is very sensitive to people, in Cameroon and even those about, because of the, people's still perception of Africa. And if they haven't been or they don't know, they say, oh, do you even have internet? Do you have Wi-Fi? And you're talking about something as basic as keeping things clean. There is, for me, always it makes me say, wow, are we really just going to urinate right where the shop is, when the bathroom is right here in the restaurant, in the bar, right? We talk about keeping things clean. Are we just going to throw stuff in the gutter? And these are the restaurant owners. What can we do about that? Because does policy have to change that? Or can people just be, in their own, say, you need to clean that up and stop littering, is what it is, right? In America, you get fined. But what can we do to change some of that behavior? Because it starts with us. It doesn't even start with, the politicians that we all love to blame around the world. So how do we go about that inside of Cameroon and even outside across all of Africa?
Mm-hmm. Do you think in America people don't do that because they are afraid of the fine, or do you think they do it because they they know for good is not a good thing to do? I came in New York. When I first came in America in 2000, I schooled to New York. I went to Hunter College, and I was working. I used to work at the African nightclub, which is on 125th Street in Harlem. Yes, because I'm kind of tall, and at nighttime, sometimes you pass on some street, it was smelling pee. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So this is a global and general issue. Sometimes it's a case of emergency. Sometimes it's a case of emergency, and people doesn't have the speed to go to the house and go to the 5th floor or to the 10th floor, open the door, run to the bathroom, and so forth, so on. So, but here in Africa, I think we need to educate. education is the key. Have a role and write up something to how society or how we should, and it's coming. Every I don't know what the last time you were here, but people are putting things in place to to teach and because in Cameroon right now we have what we call people. Cameroon used to be rural. A lot of people used to live in the countryside and and come into the city, so they were not making the difference. But right now, you have to educate people, you know, and by the lifestyle and the middle class we have in Cameroon that is growing, habit is changing, and I'm pretty sure in a couple of years that thing gonna be naturally eradicated. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, yes. And all things, I know why in America I would not, unless I really had to go. It's not just a fine, but if you're caught, you could also get a charge, and they might say you're exposing yourself, which is a sexual charge here in America if caught and convicted of doing that. But I always like to put it on us, the people, on how we make the changes, because like you said, sometimes I can tell you a story off air, and that's I say, oh, okay, this is the culture. No matter how much money you have, or if you are rich, or if you're poor, it's just the culture to want to go outside. Which if we're playing soccer or football, it's different than if we're at a restaurant. So with that, can people buy your product in America or in Europe? Is it on Amazon or Jumia yet?
I'm working on it, and that's one of the major projects for 2022. To be on, I was just talking with somebody from Texas to find a warehouse, because the goal is for next year to be on Amazon. And if we can find some partners to work toward that, is really going to be a good venture. So I'm launching a message if someone is interested to working with us. We are working. We already have what the criteria, what is needed to be FDA approved, because to sell those product line you need to be FDA. It's not complicated. So if we can find a good partner, I'm pretty sure by mid 2022, mid 22, we're going to be able to be on Amazon. No doubt about it.
All right, I'm
At
gonna make it.
the maybe sometime in better price.
I'm gonna make a call for those fellow Cameroonians. Isaac Sunday, I'm calling you out. You know something about moving product from Texas to Cameroon. Luis, I'm calling you out. Emmanuel, Emma, top 10, I'm calling you out. There's an opportunity right here for someone to jump on, and with unity, we all win. So let the people know where they can find you, contact you if they do have a question or do want to invest, from an angel investor to a VC, the best way to contact you before we go.
All right. My name is Joel Sikam. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you can visit our website, www.s as in Sam, I as a international or as a ivory, M as a mother, A as an apple, Z as in dog, .cm. We really made a mistake. It's .cm for Cameroon. It's not .com. So it's .cm. And also on our website, you can find there is all our contacts. And since we are a small company, I'm always informed of what is going on. So if you go in our website, www.cimad.cm. CIMAD is SIMAD.cm. Thank you, guys.
You guys have been blessed by the game. It's going to start with the .cm. It's going to then go to the .africa. Then who knows? Only God knows. I bless you.
Amen.
For your time. Yes.
Amen, guys.
You guys share the game. It will change somebody's life.
Hi, everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, you know, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.